If you don't want to go backwards and you want to excel in 2021, the number one thing that you must sort out in your life, and I want you to just hear this.
Is what it is, eh? I just traveled the world from 2016 onward.
I wrote it down.
Facebook with regards to how much money measure against those KPIs. Trust me, your life will change.
The first thing I want to talk about right now is actually your environment. Okay, I really want you guys to start thinking about 2021. Now, give me a 1 in the chat box if you want 2021 to be your best year yet. Does anyone here want to go backwards? No, of course not. Okay, if you don't want to go backwards and you want to excel in 2021, the number one thing that you must sort out in your life, and I want you to just hear this, the number one thing you must sort out in your life is your environment. You become who you hang around intimately. I'll repeat, you become who you hang around intimately. Write that one down. Someone write it in the chat box and really feel into this. You become who you hang around intimately. So my question to you is, who are you hanging around intimately? Whether that's friends, family, mentors, coaches, consultants, like whoever is in your life. Like, this is a good environment for you. However, there might be some environments in your life that aren't good. And it's really important to tell yourself the truth about that. Okay, because we all have these things called mirror neurons in the brain, and at some level we all have this empathy skill. Okay, now some people are more sensitive than others. Okay, some people are really are real empathic, right? The empathic, that's the word, where they're really empathic and they can take on other people's feelings and energy, right? But at some level, we can all do that. If we get out our head and into our body and our heart and learn how to connect, we can all feel how other people are feeling, okay? And I can tell you right now, the reason I've been able to create success is because of my environment. You've heard the accent, right? I'm from Scotland, but I now stay in Australia. So I had to get out of my environment and get away from my familiar environment and the people that were looking at me like the old version of myself. And I left and went traveling. And when I left and went traveling in 2016, I got on a plane and I went to Hawaii to this mastermind. I paid $5,000 for the seat. And then I ended up paying that mentor about $4 or $5 grand. It was about $4.5 grand a month thereafter. And I stayed with him for about 8 months. And that was when I really radically first changed my environment. And I can tell you right now, as soon as I got on that plane, I had my first £5,000 sale in the bank within the first 3 days of leaving. And momentum just kicked in. It was crazy. It was my real first experience of an environment shift and how powerful that is. And then I obviously met Chris, hired him as a mentor, and then I basically hung out with him in London. And then when he moved to Australia, I came out here and just hung out with him and Harriet and the team and just built the business. And that environment is what really radically changed my results. Okay, because I was just obsessed and I was around the right people. And there's a couple of things I want to talk about here. The first one is osmosis. Has anyone heard of osmosis? How the act of being around people, you will get osmosis. You will get their energy. You will then start to be that, okay? And that's a really powerful thing. So what osmosis do you have in your life right now? Like intimately, I mean like every single day. I'm not talking about a once a week thing. I mean like every single day. Where's the osmosis? What have you got in your environment? Because I can tell you right now that is influencing you even if you're not consciously aware of it. Okay. The next level of it is education. Okay. So we've got osmosis and education. So what are your goals in 2021? Like what's the North Star? What's the goal in 2021? What's the North Star? Just really connect to that for a second. Okay, really connect to that for a second. Because this is super important. And I when I felt into what everyone needs to hear, I got this. So I'm just doing this before I go into the training because I really follow my gut and instincts. Okay, what's the goal? Now, if your goal is a 7-figure business, great, awesome, then you're in the right place. If your goal is a 6-figure or multiple 6-figure business, great, you're in the right place. Okay, so you want to really ask yourself, like, where are you at right now in relation to this goal? Like, what's your current reality? If your goal is 7 figures, like, where are you now? Are you at 10 grand a month? Are you at 8 grand a month? Are you at 5 grand a month? Like, where are you? If your goal is 6 or multiple 6, then where are you objectively? Do you have 0 income right now from your business? Do you have $5? Do you have $1,000? Like, where are you at? And just be honest with yourself, right? And then when you look at these 2 points of creation, guys, there's a bridge, there's a path that gets you there. And I can tell you right now, your environment and getting around the right people to get the osmosis and education is definitely in that bridge. So the question you got to ask yourself is, if your goal is to go really big, 7 figures, then are you around people that are doing that? And I mean intimately. It's super important that you do that, because otherwise you will osmosis the people that you're mostly around. And I can tell you right now, maybe, and I could be wrong here. Like, there might be some people that do have some family members or whatever smashing it and doing this. And if that's true, then be around them more. But if you don't have family members or friends doing this, then you must literally find a way to get around people that are doing this and more. Okay, because if you don't, I can tell you right now, you will osmosis your environment. You will osmosis your environment. Okay. Now, the last piece of the puzzle is for you to follow through. No manifestation in this planet has not happened without utter follow through, absolute grit, follow through, action, trust, goal. I trust myself. I believe in my ability to figure things out, even if I feel doubt. That is it. So become aware of this, guys. What is your follow through action? What did you just take away? What epiphany just happened in your brain right now? Write it in the chat box. What's your follow through? What's your action? What are you going to do in 2021 to get osmosis and to get the education to go to your goal? Because this is key, absolute key. And you just got to do what it takes to stay around people that are getting real results and that don't settle for average. Cool, guys. So welcome to week 5. I am super, super excited to be sharing this with you. Now, up to now, we've done a lot of clarity work. Okay. So right now, you're clear on your target market. You're clear on your offer. Okay. You're clear on your framework or your model or your path, which is the TAP system. And then you're also clear on how to sell that. So we've done a lot of clarity work up till now. So this week is where we're going to start building out your marketing assets. This is where the rubber meets the road. So this week and next week are all about action, implementation, and let's go. The rubber meets the road. And by the end of next week, you're going to have a fully functioning funnel, okay, that you can launch out to the world in 2021. Who's excited for that? You're going to have a funnel that's going to get you leads and appointments into your business, okay? Now, there's a lot of people may be thinking, well, I don't have the money to spend on ads, or I've not got that much cash to spend on ads. And I invite you to flip the frame on that, because I remember one person came into the course called Tessa, and she set up her appointment tab. And I think it was like 400, it was like $400 in ads that she invested. And that was enough to get her $5,000 a month in recurring revenue coming in. Okay, so if you're sitting there thinking that you're apprehensive to put money into ads, then I really invite you to consider giving yourself a present, and giving yourself a testing budget, whatever you can afford. It might be 500, might be 1,000, might be 2,000. I don't know what your current situation is. It might be 10,000. I don't know. Okay. However, there's proof that you can actually achieve results with a very small budget, as long as you're willing to get on the phones and make offers to people. And now you have the clarity to do that. Okay. So there's no reason why you can't turn 500 or $1,000 into $4,000-5,000 a month in recurring revenue, which means you can then pull some more money out of that money and put it back in to scale it a bit more to drive towards your 10 grand, your 15 grand, your 20 grand, whatever your financial independence number is. So who is committed to stepping up to their edge over this next 2 weeks? Give me a 1 in the chat box if you're willing to go to your edge. Now, I'm not going to ask you to jump right over your edge, because I know from experience that that's where freak out happens. Unconscious freak out happens when you jump over your edge. Like if your edge is here and you're on it, that's just perfect. But if your edge is here and you jump like this, then that is just a recipe for disaster. So I'm never going to ask you to jump over your edge. Everyone's edge is different. So what I want you to ask yourself right now in your mind's eye is, where's my edge? Like if you think about launching your funnel, like what number feels like your edge? Is it $1,000? Is it 500? Is it 200? Is it 10 grand? Okay, because if I was launching a new funnel, my edge would probably be, I'd probably say 30 G's. I would just say, I'm putting 30 grand in. If it doesn't work, I'm willing to lose that. So there, like that's, and if it doesn't work before 30 grand, like it's just not going to work, because I know for a fact I'm going to get someone working within 30 grand spent, right? So like that's my edge. If it goes over 30 grand, I'm not putting any more in. I'll just take the loss and I'll move on to the next thing. Okay, so that's my edge on launching something new is $30,000. Okay, if I spent over that, I'd be stupid. Now, if you're in the place where you're like zero, then I hear you, and that's okay. What I want you to do is I want you to set up this funnel anyway and do it as if you were going to turn it on, but you just don't turn it on just yet. Okay, that's a sensible thing to do. And then for some bonus content coming after week 6, which we'll be looking to put together. It's probably going to be after the year, to be honest. But we will look to put together some bonus content. One of those things that we'll all be going over is some organic strategies and outreach strategies for you guys. So if you're in that place, then just wait till then. If not, then I just inspire you to get to your edge and find your edge and go there, because I can guarantee that the growth will happen when you're on your edge. Okay, when you're on your edge. Now there's other way you can look at. There's other ways you can look at doing things. When I first started a business, I got a business loan of £30,000, and that's how I got my business off the ground properly. I've had credit cards as well. So now I'm not giving you any financial advice, by the way. This is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I did, and that's what got me kick-started and moving. So, and if I turn back time, I'd thank my younger self for taking that risk and doing that, because that guy got me where I am today. Okay, so that's not financial advice, but there's ways where there's will, there's a way. Where there's will, there's a way, my friend. And we are here to support you and help you and guide you in any way possible. Okay.